Our hospital, the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, is the most propped hospital in the country. The roof, just to try and explain it, is like a chocolate aero bar. There's bubbles in the roof, so we're checking it daily to make sure those bubbles don't break and that the roof doesn't come down. And it really is like a ticking time bomb. And props like this are basically holding the ceiling up. And what we now have to do is some remedial work, what we call fail-safe, where we put metal pillars in and wood in to keep the ceiling up.
I've just spent about 15-20 minutes reassuring a relative and a patient in Bay 5. What you're looking at here is one of our fail-safes. So this is a part of the roof that's already been tested, and this structure that we've got on the roof is actually what's making it safe and keeping it structurally sound for the patients. Obviously, some of the issues that we have for our patients and our staff is it's quite unsightly, and actually it's really frightening for a patient when they come in. They're laying underneath it. When you're sick and in hospital, especially on a ward like this, is a respiratory ward, it's a place that you want to feel safe, you want to feel looked after, you don't want to feel frightened. And actually when you're laying in a bed, that's all you can see. You're looking up at props. I remember being called to a ward one evening and being called to see a patient who was actually too frightened to have the lights turned out, because as they were laying in bed, they were looking up at the props. And they were terrified. They didn't want the lights out. They didn't want to fall asleep. And that's really frightening for a patient, and that had a huge impact on not only myself but on the nursing teams involved. When it rains, we have to put buckets in the floor because the ward leaks. The staff have to deal with that. They have to navigate around those bits and pieces on the floor. So it makes it really difficult for everybody.
Every time you come in, that's the first thing that you see, the props. I mean, Reg has been in 2 bays on this ward, and say the other one was worse than this one. You know, when Reg is in bed, he's a bit frightened, and at his age, you know, he's wondering what's going to happen while he's here. The government, they need to put the money in. It needs to, you know, a new hospital. Because, I mean, if this closes, we've got to go to Norwich, Cambridge. At the moment, the price of petrol, it's costing me, well, £70 since Reg has been in hospital, and we just live 12 miles away. So if it was Norwich, which is over an hour, Cambridge an hour and a half, I wouldn't be able to come and see him.
We have developed a business case for a new hospital, and the value of that is around 860 million. That's really important because by 2030, we will no longer be able to deliver care in this hospital. Hence, we need to deliver on our new hospital and be guaranteed the funding for the delivery of a new build.